Hello everyone and welcome! So according to the feedback, it seems like the video skins based on lore was quite successful. And as I said in that video, there are even more skins that we can go through. So today I want to show you another 10 skins based on lore. So let's get going. Freljord is a magical and mysterious place with rich history. Long before mortals had ever set foot in Freljord, there was an ancient guardian. This creature had lived countless lifetimes, and it died many times. But each death only brought a new beginning. The powers allowed it to regenerate and in time rise again. You see, this guardian was no other than Anivia. Anivia uses forces of the land itself to protect everyone. Casting flesh-freezing blizzards and unstoppable thunderstorms, no one within Freljord can hide from her. The beginnings and the ends of the eternal cycle always cause great changes. Stories tell of Anivia's end causing decades-long ice ages, and her beginning calming storms and bringing peace. Although every time Anivia dies, she loses her memory, at the beginning of each cycle, she knows her purpose. Last time she was born, she witnessed the rise of a mighty and united human tribe. She watched over them and she protected them all with pride. But in time, the tribe fractured into three. Anivia watched as the once united people started a war. Anivia tried to calm everyone down to stop the horrible battles from tearing her home apart. But then, all of a sudden, she felt a greater threat. She felt the ice around her turning black. Dark corruption was coming and she couldn't face it alone. And so she joined the Avarosian, as she felt they would be the only ones to stop the ancient evil. The threat was no other than Lysandra and her black ice. The Black Frost Anivia shows us what would have happened if Lysandra successfully consumed Freljord and corrupted Anivia.
The cycle ends here.
We're not leaving Freljord yet. We have talked about Winter's Claw before. Specifically, we have talked about Olaf. We know that Olaf is practically immortal as long as he fights. Every time he gets close to death, bloodlust takes over him and he is forced to fight. Forsaken Olaf is a unique skin because it is technically part of the classic Olaf. His ultimate, Ragnarok, is supposed to show us what happens when he gets close to death. However, lore-wise, Forsaken Olaf is a better representation of what happens when he falls unconscious while the unknown forces take hold of him.
The might of Lokfar approaches.
For our next skin, we don't have to wander too far away from Freljord. Again, we are going to talk about another member of the Winter's Claw. This time it's Udyr. As we know, Udyr is a spirit walker, a link between the human realm and the spirit realm. Ever since he traveled to the secret Ionian temple, he was able to use the powers of the four animal spirits in his advantage. However, because he had to leave to protect Freljord, he was never able to truly master the forces of nature. The Spirit Guard Udyr is the final form of a spirit walker. Only after understanding the balance and meaning of life will he be able to become the Spirit Guard.
The energy of creation is our strength.
Next up, we have to travel to Mount Targon. This place is home to the legendary Rakor tribe. The warriors of this tribe are very well known for being one of the deadliest soldiers in the entire Valoran. Pantheon and Leona are both members of the Rakor tribe. At least Pantheon still is. At the age of 15, each member of the Rakor tribe must participate in the Rite of Kor, a ceremony in which two Rakor teens battle to death for the right to bear a relic weapon. When Leona turned 15, she refused to battle another member of the tribe, and so the elders ordered her execution. But when the time came and they tried to deliver the final blow, a beam of light came down from the skies, knocking her executioners to the ground. A member of a tribe called Solari saw what happened. The Solari tribe was different from the Rakor tribe. The Solari believed that the art of war could be used to protect people. Legend says that the founder of the Solari had the power to call down sun from the skies, but ever since he died, no one else possessed this power. No one but Leona. The Solari immediately claimed Leona so that she could focus on her powers. Although no one else can use the powers of the sun, the warriors of the tribe are called the Iron Solari, wearing the same armor as Leona in her Iron Solari skin.
The dawn has arrived.
At number 5 we have two skins, as both of these skins have similar stories. In the previous video we talked about Swain and how the Tyrant Swain should be his classic skin. Well, after he got raised to the Grand General of Noxus, of course he took some people with him. Darius is a military general of Noxus. The soldiers he leads to battle simply call him the Might of Noxus. Although he could easily challenge Swain and take his position, Darius knows that he would never be better leader than Swain. Lord Darius represents what would happen if Swain empowered Darius with his powers.
Noxus will rise.
The second skin also comes from Noxus. Katarina's father, General Du Koutau, was a high command of Noxian armies. One day he just disappeared without a single hint. If this case ends up unsolved, Katarina will eventually take his place as the High Command.
Blood for Noxus!
We have talked about Aatrox few times already, and we know what he has done to Tryndamere. But still, people don't realize that after mortally wounding Tryndamere, the powers that Aatrox gave to Tryndamere were just a fraction of his real power. Aatrox calls Tryndamere his greatest creation because he perfectly balanced Bloodlust and Tryndamere's own will. If Aatrox really wanted to turn Tryndamere into something more, he could have just channeled his raw energy into Tryndamere. Demon Blade Tryndamere is a reference to the manifest of a true Dark Incorruption.
The thirst consumes me!
The next skin won't be any happier. Gods and demigods in League of Legends are usually just stories passed from generation to generation. Possibly the only well-known demigod is Nasus. He is the first ascended guardian of Shurima and the entire Shurima's empire. Infernal Gnosis comes from alternative universe where Nasus couldn't bear his ultimate powers and he fell into madness. In this other universe, Nasus is judging mortal life and he punishes those that are weak and don't follow his laws. The letter that was in the teaser for Infernal Gnosis reads, "He marches towards us. I fear the judgment will be swift and the verdict bad. My son carries this letter in hope you can take him in."
Mortality is guilt. All will be judged.
At number 8, we have the one and only hated champion, Teemo. Teemo may look like a small and cuddly fellow, but don't be fooled. Inside, he's a dangerous murderer. And by the way, I'm not kidding. Teemo is an assassin from Bundle City. Despite his very friendly personality, sometimes he had to switch it off in combat so that he can make decisions free of emotions. The records Teemo has in Bundle City talk about him as the most dangerous Yordle alive. He is famous for using poisons he gathers from the jungles around Bundle City. Over time, he learned how to use his surroundings to his advantage. Tristana once said, "Teemo rides a thin line between chipper compatriot and unrepentant killer, but there's no one else I would rather have as a friend." Have you ever wondered what would happen if Teemo crossed the line and he surrendered himself to the killer inside? That's right. Omega Squad Teemo represents the deadly side of his personality.
There's a mushroom out there with your name on it.
Zone is a city known for dangerous experiments. One of those was the development of a new toxic weapon. Long ago, two Zone scientists developed an organic substance that could withstand extreme conditions, spontaneously alter its biological structure, and generate tremendous amount of kinetic force. The scientists were a husband and a wife. They watched the prototype grow from a spoon-sized droplet to a small blob. They noticed that their creation would respond to their presence. It sprang forward when they called and bounced when they sang. The couple began to see more than an experiment. They saw a small child filled with affection and joy. After testing the prototype one evening, the scientists placed the blob back in its cage. Suddenly, it started shaking in the corner. It was sad. At that moment, the couple realized that their beloved creation wished for free life outside the lab. The husband and the wife fled with the young blob, replacing its original name, Zone Amorphous Combatant, with a proper name, Zeke. In a quiet neighborhood far away from the cities of Zone, the scientists raised Zeke as their own child. After some time, the Zone laboratory finally tracked down the family. They captured the parents and they tried to force them into capturing Zeke. But Zeke was scared of losing both parents and freedom. So for the first time in his life, he used his body as a weapon and drove the scientists back. If the experiments went on and Zone turned Zeke into a real weapon, he would become the special weapon Zeke.
These jerks don't know when to quit.
Many Yordles from Bundle City have natural talent for science. Heimerdinger is known for his inventions, Rumble is known for his military tinkering, and then there is Zeke. Zeke was a scientist that didn't pay too much attention to his own safety. One day at the Yordles Academy in Piltover, he was demonstrating new type of engine he invented. It was the Hextech engine. But because he had nothing to cool it down, it blew up and created a huge hole in the wall of the academy. He was sad that his demonstration went so poorly. And just as he was about to travel back to Bundle City, secret agents from Zone rushed into the academy, they kidnapped the professors and left. The scientists of Piltover quickly tried to rescue their people, but nothing could get them into Zone. The walls of Zone were reinforced, and no explosives could get them through, except the Hextech engine. Zeke realized that he could augment the engine, and he could turn it into bomb. After he has done so, he created the Hexplosives. He rushed into Zone, blew up the walls, and using his new Hextech grenades, he rescued the scientists. After their return to Piltover, he was named the Dean of Demolitions. All of this happened because Zeke decided to study science in Piltover. Mad Scientist Zeke represents what would have happened if Zeke decided to join Zone.
Fuse is burning, fuse is burning!
And that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed the second list of the skins based on lore. If you have, feel free to give me all kinds of feedback and like the video, as every single like means a world to me. If you would like to see more, you can always subscribe or follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And as absolutely always, thank you, come again.